Hello everyone. Today we will talk about how we could actually get a new Salesforce certificate and how actually we could apply for that attempt. So Salesforce use the following platform, web assessor, for us in order to be able to register for a new exam. So if you have your account, you could log in here. If you don't have it, you could create a new account for you on this platform. So once you will put your credentials and you will log in, you will be able to observe the following screen. So on that screen of the web assessor, you could actually see, like what is the requirements related for you in order to be able to schedule for an exam, what is, like required for you to be able to pass it on site, to be able to pass it online, what is, like retake policy, and let's say links to the basic documentations related to it. So if you'll try to go through the tabs, next tab, which will be available here, it will be my assessments. So in my assessments, you will be able to observe, like what is your scheduled exams, what is your in progress exams, and what is, like your completed exams from the past. So we are mostly interested in the tab which is registered for an exam. So we will observe it, and that tab for receipts is, like will only contains information where it will be defined. Let's say for which period of time, what was the amount of money that you spent for the specific certification. So here actually we have a list of different kind of chapters where we could actually see different kind of, let's say, exams that we could pass, right, or certified practice tests and all this stuff with the way how we could pass it. So let's at this moment, let's say, investigate one of them, which is mostly popular, let's say, at this moment, right? It's IE Associate, and at this moment you could see that here we have, let's say, three options for us to pass it, right? It could be on event, it could be on site, or it could be online. So for example, if you are selecting it for online, so you might think, let's say, what is required for you to be able to pass it online. So in that case, oh, interesting, it's logged me out. So let's say on the next screen, what it will show you, right? It will show you actually the way where you will be able to select the appropriate date in time when you would like to pass it, right? Then you will get this, let's say, form where you could put your voucher if you have any, and then you will be able to, let's say, apply for that specific certificate, and it will showing up in one of your tabs related to payment. So for you, in order to be able to understand what is, like requirement for each type of, like control, how you will pass that certificate exam, it's, like you could go to the trailhead from one of those links which I mentioned on the home page, and from here you could see how you could prepare for your online exam. Let's say what is required for you to have, like for example, some free space on your hard drive, right? What is, like operating systems that you need to have and all this stuff. And what else is mentioned here, right? That you need to install lockdown browser software. So this lockdown browser software will help, let's say, web assessor to understand that you are not actually, let's say, using different kind of screens. You are not using, let's say, I don't know, like help of internet, right? When you are passing your exam. So that's why you will have to download this lockdown package, right, and install on your machine. So also it will require for you to create your biometrics profile, right, and make sure that it's up to date prior than you will pass it. So by that manner they will, like take your photo, right, and they will recognize that you as you, and nobody, there is no situation when some another person actually trying to pass your certification exam. And let's say next item that we would like to cover, right, is how we could actually prepare for some, like certificate that you would like to get. So mostly on the trailhead there are trails prepared for each of the certifications, like for example administrator credentials, right? So it's for the administrator certification. So you could see here, like estimated number of hours which is required for you in order to be able to complete that specific trail mix. And here you could actually see some overview of that specific exam, like, and specific breakdown, like of the weight for each of the chapters of that specific exam, and then you can use that specific trail mix for you in order to be able to prepare yourself for that specific certificate. So of course, like it should be your basics, right, and you should learn it, let's say, maybe first, and then you could practice on some online, let's say, tests, right, to make sure that you know how to answer, let's say, specific questions, right, and what is the way how Salesforce, let's say, provides the text of those messages. And for example, to be very accurate when you are reading for the question, right, and when it's mentioned, like for example, specify what is right condition, because sometimes there might be a similar question, right, but where it will be specified select not the right condition, and if you will lose its word no, right, in the description of the actual question, you might be like in a bad position when you will, let's say, select opposite answers. So another possible way to register for Salesforce certificates, it's possibility to use Salesforce Learning Camp, right, for those kind of certificates, like for example, Salesforce Associate and others, right. At this moment, I could not show how it works, or at this moment my trial is finished. But anyway, if you will just search in the internet for Salesforce Learning Camp, so then you will be able like to go to one of these pages, and if you will have an access, you will be able to log in and then schedule for the specific let's say certificates which will be available under that page. So this moment that's all. Thank you guys for the attention, and see you in the next video.